if Hace Ahmed Didin knew Arabic better and knew English better, this here would be by far the best word for word English translation with aids to help you read the Arabic that I've ever seen or even heard of. There's some words that are confused as to their meaning in the Arabic because there's some grammar issue. Like, the words with the ya before or after, how that functions, are just the way, how things are ordered in the rendering of the English might lead to some misunderstandings. Some words are given meanings in, I don't know, Turkish or Urdu or whatever, but they're not the Arabic meanings. Some words are left in as jargon. Some of the coloring makes it hard to see. Some of the red and pink makes it more difficult to see. They could have picked better colors in those instances to mark the type of way of reading, the rules of, okay, this is long, or, that sort of thing. And they give a bunch of examples of that. They show and tell not only, physically where to get the different sounds, the marks above and below and all that other stuff. They show you where in the mouth those are formed, which, that would exclude what you'd say a graven image, because a graven image isn't just you mark something, if you're actually showing this is the position, this is whatever, it's excluded from that sort of thing. And some people say, oh, if you only include part of the body, it's like, well, if you include the part that you need to explain that sort of thing, yeah. And its list of subjects to say in prayers is excellent. It has a prayer at the end, and it's longer and better than the short ones that some editions have, but it's important to include in a bilingual edition of the Quran, a prayer when completing the Quran. There are some quotes at the beginning, the approach to it, both towards understanding and towards approaching it with a purified aspect. A few quotes about where it's from and what type of thing it is in itself. We have a lot of examples of the types of things as far as reading types, important words to consider that will be included. And some of that, again, has some aspect of jargon. Yeah, you render something, and maybe you give a more detailed explanation. Well, I mean, the translation has the most issue with jargon. You should really translate everything and maybe give a footnote if it's not too readily understood like that. Like, some might not even translate the word prayer because a lot of people don't even know prayer in terms of a term from whatever they say their own scripture is. We have herein a list of names of God and a brief note about the underlying doctrine of actual monotheism that comprises things. The Arabic text itself is readable, as is. The English lettering, there's no problem with the lettering and whatnot itself being readable, but you might not understand what is actually said, even to the point of an opposite, because of the way that the thing was structured. Sometimes they render a whole line with a translation, and sometimes they get the understanding that's probably what they should do rather than hear, and it kind of sounds odd. You know, like one thing that usually sounds odd in the translations is God not guiding. It's like, well, the yud is in front, so they're not being guided because they're not choosing the guidance. The guidance is out there, but they're not taking it in. And at the end, it would be something's going out, right? Um, I know some words are relatively archaic, like tasnim and zakum and all that, but it's a translation. We really should translate the terms that might not be understood by a lot of people.